Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Dan, and in this video, as always, I'll be bringing you a full fundamental and technical analysis of the market, crypto market, as well as stock market, latest happenings, what's going on, my personal opinion and analysis on what do I think which will happen in the next week. So stay tuned for more. And without further ado, let's head to the PC and start with Nasdaq 100 as always. Guys, look at this huge move over here. This is what we've been waiting for, right? A big breakout to the upside. It has been driven a little bit too much, in my personal opinion, with some external factors. AI hype, debt ceiling worry, Nvidia posting very good results, and they actually said they expect in the next quarter and the next year to have even better result. So they joined finally into $1 trillion club, which we're going to talk about later. Now let's just focus on the chart itself. Guys, we had this consolidation area over here, right, where we were accumulating. Now look at this thing, over here we had a bullish cross that I was talking to you about on a weekly chart, which is when the EMA 20 crosses EMA 50 to the upside, which is called bullish cross, and this should give us bullish signal. And what happened just immediately after that? Boom, we had 6 green weeks in a row. This was an insane run. Okay, so this is a little bit too much. It was really nice, and I was actually bullish. I told you guys, if we break out this area over here, which we did, that I'll be bullish, and I was bullish until somewhere over here, right? Then I was like, okay, this is starting to get a little bit too much. So I mostly avoided the market. I longed a little bit, then I tried shorting it a couple of times. I got destroyed absolutely. Luckily, it was all calculated risk management trades, right? So nothing too crazy, and I still actually made it more on the long side. So now looking at the chart, yes, we had these beautiful 6 green weeks. It has been driven by macroeconomic behaviors, and also, as I told you, some earnings report, some hype, etc. But can we just continue rising to the upside and go all the way to 15,300, which kind of scares me, right? Because that would mean that we're actually in the full-blown bull market, and we're still in the environment where there are still very high interest rates. The recession is still not there. Everybody is saying that we're gonna have a recession in the second half of the year. So all these things, nobody actually talks about them anymore, all these bad things. Now we're just in the middle of the hype. So guys, I at the moment would be very cautious to the long side, and I will not be taking any long trades most probably until I see some clear levels and some signs where I can actually make sense of where should I enter long. So at the moment, as we can see, we are now sitting at around 14,575, so basically around 14,600, and I don't see us, we're in the middle of the nowhere at the moment. So we could either go to 15,200, or we could just do a U-turn and go back, pull back all the way to at least 13,600. Which, to be honest, I really expect. I mean, how long can we continue this win streak? Yes, it was amazing, but we do expect some pullback for sure. So the first point of pullback next week, if it happens, is going to be, of course, somewhere about 14,275. So that will be somewhere around 300 points or so. Let's just zoom in on the daily chart. So yeah, to have a look how it looks like. So over here on this chart, I would like us to go back to 14,270, retest this area, and if we hold it, if we really hold it and we have some really good news coming up, or if we just continue ranging above this area until the next week, because the next week we have Fed interest rate decision, which is going to be an important one. So if we continue above this area and hold it until the next week, and then the next week Fed decides to pause the rate hikes or whatever, we have some really good news, then we catapult up to 15,200. But what I would expect is at least a pullback to here, and then if we even break this area over here, then the next stop will be definitely around 14,000 or so. Okay, So from me, I will not be longing next week until I see clear signs of support over here and until I hear some really good news. Otherwise, I'll just stay out of the market, because honestly, this market, I don't want to long it. Now, with that being said, also on Nasdaq 100, please remember to take some profits, okay? If you have some swing positions that you would like to take some stress off and some profits off, please do so. It's always good to take profits. Profits are not a bad thing. Please remember to book some profits. That's a very important one. So now, with that being said, we don't have any divergences on the MACD or RSI. We do have a small, it's not even a divergence on RSI. However, I want to tell you something on weekly chart, even though I don't use it this way, but it's worth noting that on the weekly chart, we have RSI crossing into the overbought zone, which is now at around 73, area of 73. And the last time when it was in this area was in the peak of the previous bull run, which was in November 2021, when the RSI came to the overbought zone. So remember, these kind of indicators work, right? They can stay in this overbought area for quite a long time, like maybe a month or so. Doesn't matter, like we saw it even here. Look at before the COVID crash, we went all the way a couple of months. We went to 81, which was insane, right? We were in this huge overbought zone, and then boom, a huge crash happened. And every single time when we were on a weekly chart in this overbought zone, we did have a bigger correction every single time, as you can see right over here. So I would definitely expect as well for this RSI to come back down at least to the 50s area. If actually RSI goes back to that area of 50s, comes down, that would probably be a correction to somewhere back to 13,600 or so, which would be a totally healthy correction at the moment, because we just blasted for more than 1,000 points, 1,300 points in a couple of weeks. So that needs cooling. So to sum it up, for Nasdaq 100, I do expect us to go back and test at least 14,200. If not, I will not be longing. I will not be looking for any long positions. I would rather stay out of the market. If we test it and stay above it until the next week, and then next week we pump, then it's going to be a move to the 15,200, and that was just bring us to the bull market. That's it. But what I do think is going to happen is a move like this, go down to this zone 14,200, break it, go all the way down to 13,600, consolidate here for a while, and then continue on to the upside. And that would be the perfect scenario. Now let's move on to Bitcoin. Now at Bitcoin, this is a weekly chart. Remember what I just showed you when the bullish cross, when the EMA 20 crosses the EMA 50, exact same thing we have over here on Bitcoin, right? Happening exactly right over here, as you can see. However, Bitcoin does not look good and strong as Nasdaq does. So this can work, but it doesn't have to work. However, we see also that we're holding off this support area quite well, and that we are still staying above all the EMAs, and we have these big wicks. So if we zoom in on the daily chart as well, what I see over here is literally a squeezing triangle. All right, so this is some kind of a squeezing triangle, which usually is a bearish pattern. Usually these kind of descending or squeezing triangles to the downside break like this, okay, and then we would finally hit somewhere around 22k. However, in crypto, in my experience, all these freaking patterns, they work reverse, they work the other way around. So if we're squeezing here, we might see a big move to the upside, and if we break this squeezing triangle here, probably we're going back to retest 30k, and then finally to hit that 32k, and then from that point onwards we're gonna see. So will this sign over here really propel Bitcoin and create a big huge bull run the same way it did on Nasdaq? Remains to be seen, to be honest. Now, I'm going to talk about later on in the crypto news section on why I do think that we might have a good run for Bitcoin, but that remains to be seen. But also, as I've told you, I mean, looking at the chart itself, a correction back to 22k is just something that I would think should happen, okay? So we should correct to 22k just to grab some breath and some liquidity and propel us back to 40-50k. Now, if the reverse or other situation happens, and that is if we break out and continue the run like Nasdaq did, break 32k, consolidate over here, then the next stop is easily 40k. So if we manage to stay above this area, and if we manage to break out and break these 30k and go to 30k finally and stay above it, the next stop will definitely be $40,000 for Bitcoin. And that would basically mean that we're just preparing for the next huge leg up of the bull run. Okay, so now guys, we are kind of in the last stages of the preparation for the next bull run. I've been talking about the big leg down on both crypto and indices, and I still think it's going to happen somewhere mid-year, end of the year, whatever you want to call it. But I do think we're going to have one bigger correction before we move on to the full-blown bull market in somewhere in the 2024. I still remain optimistic about that, but if that doesn't happen, what to do? I mean, I've already bought whatever I could buy, but I would just love to buy even more. So yeah. Anyways, now let's move on to some news, and of course we're gonna start with economic calendar for next week. Economic calendar finally has nothing in store for us, nothing too crazy. So on Monday we only have the services PMI, and we have the ISM non-manufacturing PMI for the month of May. Tuesday there's nothing, it's just short-term energy outlook. And then Wednesday we do have some reports which are exports, imports, nothing that we care about too much. Thursday, as always, initial jobless claims. And then Friday we have some Fed reports, reserve balances, but basically nothing too crazy. So next week reports are nothing too important. They will affect the market, but they will not affect the market too much. And that's why I do think that we're going to have this short break in the rally, and that's why I see us finally pulling back down. If we don't, as I said, I'm not buying. I'm staying out of the market, and I'm just gonna be looking at it, but I'm not buying in these conditions. Okay, that's all for the reports. Now let's move on to some news. AI demand briefly catapults Nvidia into $1 trillion club. So what happened? Why did we make this parabolic move? Basically, Nvidia had an amazing quarterly results, okay, earning reports, and they even said that they expect that they will be making way more money than they are making now into the next quarter and into the next year. So everybody just went crazy and started buying Nvidia and launched it to 400 something per share dollars, right? So and it's all fueled by AI hype. Now the AI hype actually reminds a lot of people who've been in the markets during the 2000s. They're now comparing it versus the dot-com bubble, when every single website on the internet was overvalued, every single company was overvalued because everybody thought the internet is a new thing, it's a boom, everybody's gonna make money. Now the AI seems something similar, okay? And as I do think Nvidia is an amazing company, right? But these valuations are fair for Nvidia, that is correct, yes, but it needs to show further down the road that it can sustain these results for a longer period of time. God forbid if they do not show these results in the next quarterly results earnings report, or the one after that, or doesn't matter, they will go like 30, 40, 50% down. I'm telling you, like they will lose all the hype, they will go hardcore down if the next quarter is not that good as it seems. That's why it's very tricky, and you need to know the thin line these companies make. I mean, they need to be very tricky with the outlook. They cannot be too optimistic, because now they're priced in at a very high valuation, and they're still not justifying, they're still not making enough earnings to justify this valuation. However, they might in the future, and we're gonna find out. As I've said, in the next, by the way, in the next earnings reports, if Nvidia does miss the report, I'm gonna be shorting the heck of it, okay? And then buying again once it reaches and settles down. Now, Biden signs debt limit bill, avoiding US default. Now, guys, this was the biggest clown fest drama that I've witnessed, okay, in the market. Like, US has never defaulted on their debt. They never will, and as I told you a million times, this has been going on for so long, these talks. They of course increased the debt limit they increased the debt limit, but they actually left the limit open or blank until the 2025. That means they can freaking do whatever they want. At the moment, I think they are, yes, 31.4 trillion debt ceiling, okay? So that means they can go up to 40 if they want until 2025. There's no limit. They just kept it open at the moment until, you know, they get some details in place and whatever. However, guys, I told you it was a clown fest, and they waited now to the last minute, you know, to avoid a default, and everything was just done over the weekends, and everything was done in the last possible minute, just for them, as I told you, so they can collect some brownie points and be heroes. And market actually also was hyped up for this, and this is what caused this big rally in equities, in everything but crypto. Crypto apparently was dead throughout the whole process, okay? But equities performed really well. Then after this, I really expect cool down, okay? After all this mockery is gone. Now, let's move on to some crypto news. Is Biden controversial Bitcoin mining tax dead or set to rise from the ashes? By the way, the Biden's proposal did not make it into a bill. His proposal is that the Bitcoin miners get taxed up to 30% in 2026. So his plan was to tax the miners in the US who are mining crypto, to tax them 30%. So what happened? Why Bitcoin and everything else wasn't actually pumping at the moment? It wasn't pumping because, and this is the good news for crypto, because all the miners were selling and offloading, and they are now thinking of ways how to move off the US, okay? When the China banned mining Bitcoin in China, everybody moved to the US and other countries. Now US is doing something very similar. They're not banning it, but they're trying to increase and trying to go after everyone and trying to regulate it as much as they can, and you know, it's basically killing it. Basically, they're trying to kill crypto, right? More or less. So now we know that US is no longer a crypto-friendly country, and slowly all these big companies are moving somewhere else. Singapore, UAE, Hong Kong, whatever, okay? They're looking for alternatives, right? And this is very bad for the US, but it's good for the crypto, because they're now going to be moving into the crypto-friendly countries, the countries that actually support them, that actually give them benefits. So now the miners, when they stopped selling, because the bill isn't passed, they will not get taxed 30%, okay? Now we might see this bullish cross that I spoke to you about earlier. We might see it work. We might see another big wave of buying, okay? And we might see a big, huge propulsion to the upside. Now, this is all a might not happen, right? But this is just one of the positive catalysts that could, you know, work into crypto favor. However, if none of this works, definitely that means that the previous run was overextended, that we need to go down a little bit lower, reset ourselves, and give bear some space and go back to 2022, okay? Before continuing on to the full-blown bull run. Now guys, that will be all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. So as a summary, last couple of weeks were really good for equities, not so good for crypto. Crypto was stalling after this big run that it had. I mean, it's just normal because we had a really big and nice moves from 15k to 30k. Come on, I mean, that's a 50% gain in Bitcoin alone. Other altcoins, when some of them, they went to the moon, like Pepe, for example. And yeah, guys, so it was really good for equities. It was really good for stocks. I do recommend you to take some profits, and I do recommend you to be careful and cautious and wait for a pullback before buying into the market again. That was all for today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.